rebel and a runner. He's a signal turner. He's a restless young romantic monster of the beach. He's got a problem with his poisons, but you know we'll find a cure. He's cleaning up the systems to keep his nature pure. Learning to match the beat of the old world man.
Hey everybody, my name is Ben Horton, and I thought I'd give a little introduction to what this series is all about. So, it's just going to be all about music. And I'm a music fanatic, I'm a musician, I go to a lot of concerts, I listen to a ton of different artists, and I just thought it'd be good to give y'all some advice for what to check out, what not to check out, and just music. It's my life. So, hope you'll join me for this wild ride and enjoy. Thank you. So, I'm going to give you my top 5 jam bands of all time. And these are just my preferences. You may not know, or you may know, that I love jam bands and quote-unquote hippie music. But here's the list. And it's extremely underrated. They're amazing musicians, so here's my list. 5. Widespread Panic. They're good, but whenever they're jamming, right when they're about to hit the pinnacle, the peak, the climax of the jam, they stop. They go out of it. So you don't really get the hair standing up on your arms feeling when you listen to them. Number 4, I have got Humphreys McGee, and they're better than Widespread Panic. They're a lot more technical and progressively influenced, and the cool thing about them, they do really great covers of lots of different artists, but they'll mash the different covers together, and it's amazing. And so check them out, Humphreys McGee. And number 3, String Cheese Incident. They are very much acoustic and bluegrass influenced, and I really like those. And I gotta say, it can sometimes get redundant, but it's worth checking out. And just a cool thing to do would be to download on your iPhone the app Archive, and it has tons of String Cheese Incident shows. Also, the band that I previously mentioned, Humphreys McGee, has a ton of their shows, and it's very cheap price up front, no monthly fees. So just look at that, and they have shows from all throughout their career, and like I'm still finding new stuff every day. So number 2, The Grateful Dead. Bob Weir, Jerry Garcia, Drive This Train, and it's just amazing. And some of my favorite songs that you should check out: Sugar Magnolia, Bertha, Casey Jones, so many great ones, Shakedown Street. So look those up. And probably the best album for the Grateful Dead that you would dig is Europe 72. It's a live album and just great jamming, everything's great, and check that out. And studio album for the Grateful Dead, American Beauty. So yeah, those are amazing. And my number 1 is Fish. Trey Anastasio, Paige McConnell, Mike Gordon, and John Fishman. And a lot of people think Fish is just mindless, noodling, self-indulgent music, but oh my gosh, it's great. For a live album, probably the live album, A Live One, say that 5 times really fast. It has some amazing jamming, just a great mix of what they got. And check out the website Livefish, and they have an app entitled Livefish, and you can download tons of different shows for about $9.95. And for studio albums, Billy Breathes. Very just tight. And another good album that would be good is Hoist. It features a couple different special guests, has some brass, and that's really cool. And just if they ever come to your town, just give them a try. And the whole scene is really cool, and their fans are super nice. And so Fish, Grateful Dead, String Cheese Incident, Humphreys McGee, and Widespread Panic. Jam bands, Ben Horton's choice. This week I'm going to recommend Rush's Blu-ray, Snakes and Arrows Live. I say Blu-ray because it's better than the DVD version. The DVD, there's 3 discs, and this fits it all onto one. That's already cool enough, and the sound is superb, and not even to mention like the awesome performances by Geddy Lee, Alex Lifeson, and Neil Peart. But they do a ton of songs covering their entire career. Lots of songs from their album Snakes and Arrows, and you may be thinking, oh, this came out a couple years ago. But yeah, it did. It came out in 2008 and the tour was in '07. But I just watched this last night and it's still as fresh and solid and energetic as ever. So I'd say pick it up if you're a Rush fan or if you're not, and you will be blown away. If you don't have a Blu-ray player, I guess you could settle for the DVD, but I mean, just amazing quality, clear image. They're all on top of their game. I mean, highlights were Natural Science, Witch Hunt from Moving Pictures, can't go wrong. Circumstances from Hemispheres, they really broke into the vault for that one. And then the encore is really solid. One Little Victory, Passage to Bangkok, and YYZ. So I mean, you really can't go wrong with Rush. Hey everyone, so this is the part of the show where I give you the 411 on what's going on in the world of music. So the first bit of news has to do with Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi has announced tour dates for 2013, and you can check them out at bonjovi.com. He's going to basically every major market, so it's a guarantee that you'll be able to see him. And he always puts on an amazing live show. Always a great night of great music, so check that out. And the second headline is Eric Clapton has announced he's bringing back his Crossroads Guitar Festival. It's going to be held at Madison Square Garden in New York City on April 12th and the 13th of 2013. You should definitely check it out because it's going to have everyone from B.B. King to the Allman Brothers to Gary Clark Jr. and Citizen Cope and a ton of other big names. But it's good. All these artists are going to be spread out between the 2 nights. So some will be performing one night, some the other. So I mean, just gotta go and get all of them. So I mean, it's going to be really good. And the next bit of news is AC/DC finally came to their senses and decided to put their entire catalog on iTunes. After fans have waited all these years, they finally realized they wanted the music. So AC/DC realized this and they were like, hey, let's put it on. And fans are happy. So we have got all the albums you can purchase individual songs or their entire albums. If you need some recommendations, I recommend Back in Black, The Razor's Edge, High Voltage, Highway to Hell, and Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap if you need some good AC/DC. And the next little bit of news is Metallica has announced that they are releasing a DVD and Blu-ray entitled Quebec Magnetic. It was filmed in 2009 when they were supporting their album Death Magnetic, and it featured old songs and new songs, and that is coming out on December 10th. And it will be available on Metallica's website, Metallica.com, and at all music retailers that are smart enough to sell this great release. So, thank you. So, recently it was announced that AC/DC's iconic 1980 album, Back in Black, would be inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. So, I thought I'd give my 2 cents about what was Brian Johnson's first album and what would go on to be one of the biggest albums of all time. So, starts off with Hell's Bells. How can you not love that intro? Just gotta get the goosebumps. I mean, just all these songs are just pounding hard. Like, this is my favorite Brian Johnson album. Like, after this, it kinda, they had For Those About to Rock, We Salute You after this album. Then it kinda went downhill with the Brian Johnson albums. But I mean, like, when it comes to just good old rock and roll, this is perfect. Just the Chuck Berry inspired riffs and just the 4/4 drumming. I mean, like, just get out in your car and drive with this and just crank it up. Like, life is good. So, I mean, if you haven't listened to this album, I'd really recommend it. I mean, personally, I prefer Bon Scott's albums over Brian Johnson's, but this is my favorite Brian album. So I mean, my favorite songs on here, Shoot to Thrill, What'd You Do for Money, Honey, of course Back in Black's a classic, who doesn't know that riff, and Giving the Dog a Bone, and of course Have a Drink on Me and Rock and Roll Like Noise Pollution are some of my favorites. Like, those are words to live by, rock and roll like noise pollution. I mean, just gotta love this. And speaking of Back in Black, if you are in the Texas area or anywhere, because they tour everywhere, I suggest you check out the AC/DC tribute band, Back in Black. You can go to their website at backinblack.info and find out where they're playing, and they do an amazing job at keeping the AC/DC live show available for us while AC/DC is not touring, and they always break out classics, especially from this album and every other one. So thank you for joining me for the first installment of Mr. Horton Hears. I hope you'll join me again as I bring you the world of music to your computer. Thank you. Bye.